Welcome to deep, dark depths, where the shadows whisper and nightmares breathe. Tonight, we descend into 3 true horror stories submitted by viewers. These terrifying encounters remind us that reality is often stranger and far more dangerous than any fiction we could ever invent. From snowy roads in Nevada to high-rise apartments and abandoned stores, terror can find you anywhere, especially when you are alone. Our first story takes us to the freezing highways of Nevada, where a driver faced a bizarre performance that masked a trap. Driving through a blinding snowstorm late at night, the driver spotted a solitary figure standing motionless in the middle of the road. The figure was wearing a simple white mask, staring blankly into the headlights, completely unbothered by the freezing cold winter temperatures. Suddenly, the stranger began to move, executing a series of graceful yet unsettling dance moves, twirling elegantly on the icy asphalt. Confused and slightly terrified, the driver slowed down but did not stop, watching this surreal performance unfold in the desolate wilderness. The dancer noticed the attention and gestured towards the car, seemingly begging the driver to record this bizarre act for posterity. Against his better judgment, the driver pulled out his phone and started recording, captivated by the fluid movements of the stranger. The mesmerizing dance was abruptly interrupted when a second man emerged from the darkness of the roadside, holding a loaded gun. Without a word of warning, the armed man raised his weapon and aimed it directly at the head of the dancer. A loud bang echoed through the valley as the trigger was pulled, and the masked dancer collapsed instantly onto the snow. Terrified for his own life, the driver slammed on the accelerator, speeding away from the horrific scene as fast as possible. He drove for miles without looking back, his heart pounding in his chest, until he finally reached a safe area with signal. He immediately contacted the authorities, reporting the murder he had just witnessed and guiding them back to the exact location. When the police arrived at the scene, they cordoned off the area, expecting to find a body and evidence of a crime. However, to their absolute shock, there was no body, no blood, and no shell casings to be found anywhere on the road. The snow was undisturbed where the body should have fallen, suggesting that the shooting had been entirely staged for the driver. It was a terrifying trap, designed to make the driver stop his car, but luckily, his instinct to flee saved his life. The authorities warned him that he had likely escaped a carjacking or kidnapping attempt orchestrated by these 2 twisted individuals. That night on the snowy road remains a haunting memory, a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the dark. Our next tale comes from a viewer who recalls a childhood experience that defies all logical explanation to this very day. It happened when the narrator was just 11 years old, living in a high-rise apartment with his mother and grandmother. At 1 in the morning, while the rest of the world slept, he was awakened by a strange and rhythmic sound. It was the distinct sound of bells jingling, clear and persistent, coming directly from just outside his bedroom balcony door. He looked over at his mother and grandmother, sleeping in the same room, but they remained completely undisturbed by the noise. The sound was loud and repetitive, like someone was standing right outside the glass, shaking a handful of small bells. Fear gripped him as he realized they lived on a high floor, making it impossible for anyone to be standing there. Too terrified to move or wake his family, he pulled the covers over his head and prayed for the sound to stop. But the jingling did not stop. It continued rhythmically for an entire hour, tormenting the young boy in the dark. Every shadow looked like a monster, and every creak of the house sounded like an intruder entering to harm them. He imagined a floating entity hovering outside the glass, waiting for him to pull back the curtains and look. Finally, as the clock struck 2, the bells stopped, just as abruptly as they had started, leaving a deafening silence. The next morning, he asked his mother if she had heard anything, but she insisted she had slept through the night. He checked the balcony for any signs of a prank or a bird, but there was absolutely nothing out of place. To this day, he wonders what was hovering outside his window that night, ringing bells for an audience of 1. Some mysteries are never solved, but our final story involves a very real and physical danger that almost ended in tragedy. Our final submission comes from a truck driver who stopped at the wrong place at the wrong time during a haul. It was late and exhaustion was setting in, so he decided to pull over at an old, run-down convenience store. The store looked abandoned, sitting alone in the middle of nowhere, but the faint buzz of neon signs promised coffee. He stepped out into the cool night air and walked towards the entrance, ignoring the gut feeling telling him to leave. The bell chimed as he entered, revealing an interior that smelled of rot and old dust, illuminated by flickering yellow lights. Behind the counter stood an elderly man, gaunt and pale, staring intensely at the driver without saying a single word. When the driver asked for coffee, the old man opened his mouth to speak, revealing that his tongue had been severed. Horrified by the sight, the driver stumbled back, realizing that something was terribly wrong with this place and its keeper. Before he could react, a loud mechanical click echoed through the store. The front door had been locked electronically. From the back room, 2 large figures emerged, their bodies and faces completely wrapped in layers of grey duct tape. They moved in unison, brandishing large, rusted knives, their eyes wide with malice, staring through gaps in the tape. Adrenaline surged through the driver's veins as he grabbed heavy glass bottles from the shelf and hurled them at the attackers. The distraction worked for a split second, giving him just enough time to sprint towards a side window near the exit. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed it through the glass, diving out into the parking lot just as they lunged. Scraping his arms and legs, he scrambled to his feet and sprinted to his truck, fumbling desperately for his keys. He expected them to follow, but they simply stood at the broken window, watching him with those cold, dead eyes. The engine roared to life, and he tore out of the parking lot, leaving a cloud of dust and terror behind. He drove until sunrise, never stopping, haunted by the image of the tongueless man and the taped figures waiting in the dark. When he reported the incident, police found the store abandoned, but discovered signs of a struggle and fresh blood inside. The perpetrators had vanished, leaving only rolls of grey duct tape and a chilling mystery that remains unsolved to this day. 3 stories, 3 different kinds of horror, all proving that the world is a much darker place than we believe. Whether it is a trap on a snowy road, a haunting from above, or ambush in a store, danger waits. You might feel safe watching this in your room right now. But remember, these victims thought they were safe too. Take a look at your window. Can you be certain that no one is standing there, watching you from the dark? If you hear a strange noise tonight, or see a shadow move, do not investigate. Just close your eyes and pray. We want to hear your encounters with the unknown. Send your true horror stories to us, and you might be featured next. If you enjoyed these tales of terror, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more nightmares. We upload new horror compilations every week, digging deeper into the abyss to find the scariest content for your entertainment. Thank you for joining us in the dark. Remember, the things you fear are often closer than they appear in the mirror. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and try to get some sleep tonight. We will be waiting for you in the next video. The world is vast and full of secrets. We are just scratching the surface of the horrors that lie in wait. From the depths of the ocean to the darkest corners of the human mind, we will continue to explore the unknown. Don't forget to like this video if it sent a shiver down your spine. Your support helps us keep the lights on. Share this video with a friend who thinks they are brave. Let's see if they can handle the deep, dark depths. As the candle fades and the shadows grow longer, we leave you with one final thought to haunt your dreams tonight. You are never truly alone. Something is always watching, always waiting, and always hungry for your fear in the deep, dark. Thank you for watching Deep Dark Depths. Sleep with one eye open, for the darkness is always watching. Subscribe for more terrors.